shit, but this your alter ego Nate Trey. We need to let these females know what it is. Funny thing is, bitch thought I was a rebound. Yeah, I said, bitch, had me fuck around and rebound. Fuck, I meant relapse. They didn't know I was versatile, be spiritual, but still say fuck a hoe. Just because she female doesn't mean she woman though. Have your ass hella though, smashing on the homie though, taking you for all your dough. Really thought I was one of those? Nope. She thought I was a joke. She thought she had me because she was talking woke. But wait, you really thought that would impress me? I just show you really just trying to fucking nasty. Oh, Richie, I can tell by the way you dressing. Funny thing is, she thought I was a rebound. She really knew me. She know how my homies get down. I'm straight gentleman that's raised from the dog pound. I listen to the cheese, yeah, that's just what I've been around. Cadillacs and Cedars, so playaways I've been down. I've been around. Even when I'm down, I still put it to the ground. I've been proud. Check the scoreboard. Demons running how I always rebound. You can play me now, you fucking with my intellect. Yeah, you little sexy, I show you love up on the internet. But show me you not crazy and a lady and you come correct. But it's you out the top, you think I worry you like you suck the stick. Suck the stick, yeah, I'ma hit it with a little twist. A ladder will never be played on no bitch. Yeah, bitch, bitches really do exist. Alter ego, they can't speak it. This shit, it's turning up be something like ludicrous. She must have thought a letter would grant her a wish. Silly rabbit, but you know tricks off her kids. Think I'm a two, that's how your ass it is this. That spiritual talk and that spiritual walk doesn't mean you're not spiritually lost. A spiritual law, a lot of women don't come across a spiritual law to make a woman grow and evolve before he evolved was in her drive. Only thing is, she thought I was a rebound. She really knew me, she know how my homies get down. I'm straight gentleman that's raised from the dog pound. I listen to the cheese, yeah, that's just what I've been around. Cadillacs and Cedars, so playaways I've been found. I've been around, even when I'm down, I still put it to the ground. I've been proud, check the scoreboard. Demons running how I always rebound. See, a lot of y'all think I'm meditating me and some shit. I think I'm a nice guy. The nice shit out the window. My ex is the last one to get down in the team. But this interview is a real interview. Fuck you. I'm finna block this bitch, man. She knows she got me fucked up. Yeah, so on this. You got me high right now, so please don't call my phone. And if you do, you probably gon' just get the dials. I'm cool, no, I ain't trying to make up. Fuck you and all the lies you made up. Why was you lying to me when I was just trying to be a real good nigga, but you wasn't trying to see? I guess that it's time that I leave. Yeah, that's cool, that's cool. Ain't never been no fool. Yeah, that's cool, that's cool. I'm not the mother douche, yeah. You want you a goofy, go get you a sucker, cause baby, I'm not one of them. And when you look back and you think I'm still there, I'ma be going to win. You was lying to save face, bitch, you was a sad case. I was rocking the whole way, I tried to be that. But now it's fuck that and fuck you, and hell no, I don't trust you. You got me high right now, so please don't call my phone. And if you do, you probably gon' just get the dials. I'm cool, no, I ain't trying to make up. Fuck you and all the lies you made up. Thought you would be discreet. Thought you could play with a P. I've been on game, I ain't no lame, but I know you for the streets. All the nights you would act like you sleep, you was probably out getting some D. But how you gon' fuck with a goofy? Then try to come back to me? Nah, it don't work like that. You might as well stay where you at. Hey, I'm cool on you. If you want me to keep it a stack, we had our fun. Bitch, now we done. See, you look dumb when you could've had that one. Can make your space when you're gone. Open all the gates for your honest and just let your soul. But now it's fuck that and fuck you, and hell no, I don't trust you. You got me high right now, so please don't call my phone. And if you do, you probably gon' just get the dials. I'm cool, no, I ain't trying to make up. Fuck you and all the lies you made up. But now fuck that and fuck you, and hell no, I don't trust you. But now it's fuck that and fuck you, and hell no, I don't trust you. Hey, let's get them, bro. Yeah. If niggas want smoke, we can take it there. We can take it there. If niggas want beef, we can take it there. Yep, we can take it there. Y'all niggas want funk, we can take it there. Hold up, we gon' take it there. I'm still with whatever, let's take it there. For real, ain't no faking here. Dog, it's a bet we can settle up. Nigga feel like Goku off the level up. Still total metal, my niggas don't meddle much. Beretta, so I'm with whatever, bruh. Ain't rockin' the watch with the bezel, huh? Tell the fuck boys get they cheddar up. Now bitch, we on fire, heat the kettle up. She wanna rock with the rebels, huh?
Tryna be dog, nigga, I know you a fraud. Split up your team when not even the odds. Look up to me when you speaking to God. Double the fee cause I be on my job. You niggas gon' smoke, I'ma take it there. Don't know the ropes, I'ma hang your head. Come out your mouth, I'ma change your air. Then I run it back just to make it clear. From the blow up, homie, you mad cause you toe up. Flex on your bitch, then I'm taking her so what? Cold as a polar, turn your whole team to a soldier. Bitch told you niggas don't roll up. Off of my balls, I don't fuck with you like balls. You just a star. Sheesh, all of you falls. We don't believe what you say, but it don't talk. Like when I floss, too new. Homie, don't cross it, you through. I've been the boss, who's you? Nigga, you lost, blues clues. I just keep killing it every time. Jumping in coke when we spitting these lines. My brother trap, go deeper than rap. If you want smoke, you out your mind.
Watch out with me and bro got to do the niggas. Ain't no playing it cool with nigga. Stop all that capping like you with the shooters, nigga. We pull up like the Uber, nigga. Fresh out that water, my diamonds on Fiji. I bet your little bitch trying to scuba in it. Spot get the step and you might find a foot in your ass. Who'da knew that shoe would fit you? Hey, came up from hard days, I was thuggin', we trapped out the hallways, getting money, butter like parquet, cut it, I'm at your head like a ball fade, she get we in this bitch going back to back, tell them duck like the quack attack, or catch a surprise like the bottom of Cracker Jacks, dog, we kick it like hacky sack, nigga, fuck it, roll up that pack, we gon' smoke some, now he lifted, we hit him in both lungs, it's atomic when we get the bombing, since these niggas think they charge up like proton, ass up like a blimp, hop in that spaceship and dip, we gone. If you want that fuck shit, you won't make it here. Book a ticket, you trip, we gon' take it there. If niggas want smoke, we can take it there. We can take it there. If niggas want beef, we can take it there. Yup, we can take it there. Y'all niggas want funk, we can take it there. Hold up, we gon' take it there. I'm still with whatever, let's take it there. For real, ain't no faking here. Dog, it's a bet we can settle up. Nigga feel like Goku off the level up. Still talking metal, my niggas don't meddle much. Beretta, so I'm with whatever, bruh. Ain't rockin' the watch with the bezel, huh? Tell them fuck boys get they cheddar up. Now bitch, we on fire, heat the kettle up. She wanna rock with the rebels, huh? She wanna rock with the rebels, huh? the jungle, lion, tigers, and bears, snakes and scorpions. Can you take this shit serious? Serious as it is. When it's fuck, how you feel? Better get it how you live. When killers retaliate every enemy possible, surviving lives on a hard pill to swallow. God bless the child that can hold his own. That means taking care of your family till your kids are grown. If loyalty is royalty, some of us broke as fuck. Blood thicker than water, but still, who can you trust? They say that you to blame, ran your name in the mud. You a soldier, you was trained, you was ready for war. The president smoking, fucking bitches in the White House, stumping in the Air Force Ones until the lights out. King of high yourself, they say you dangerous and woke. They know we greedy for these beats, so they say we creep slow.
Woke is the new sleep, shallow is the new deep. Cheeks every news week, silence is the new speech. Cool like a fan, but on the other hand, I'm a nympho, so I like to fuck what they saying. Fuck an ab and a pan, they both kicking the can. Two homeless motherfuckers that ain't took back they land. Ain't no need to take a seat, want you to overly stand. Listen up and pour a cup while I rock like a band. Fuck a chief in a tribe, I like feeling the vibe. Man tucking on that pride and see it's just a divide. But you fuck with white girls and you push genocide. And Jennifer, the only one you call for a ride. I was fucking with that shit, but now my feelings have died. And all my women spoil like my package expired. My discernment like a tooth with the feeling inside. Cause I'm here to tell the truth, fuck what you feeling inside, nigga.
This that prolific, spiritual individual. Grab your bitches, they follow him everywhere he go. My aura code, the shit I'm kicking like Sub-Zero. Most niggas playing it simple, we keep shit popping like teenage pimples. Y'all niggas lack credentials, overlapping most uniques with meditation, elevation, fundamentals. It's official, like a ref with a whistle. I won't pick up my dribble, she look me in the eyes, open up the eyes to say, play monkey in the middle. The woman's my favorite riddle, high charisma in my temple. She get real experimental with her mouth on my pillow. Guess my lap is her pillow. She have fun giving me brain. That's real fundamentals. Give me some. Get you one. I'm a chosen one to overcome any spiritual war. I know I already won. Plus my high vibration surpassing all you bums, nigga.
Hello, everybody. Let me set myself up, y'all. If y'all can hear me, drop a heart in the chat for me to make sure that my audio is good. Good evening. Excuse me, y'all. These allergies are killing me. I hope y'all got to see the live right before this here at the Love Palace. That we talked about unconditional love, and this is the Q&A part. So before I go and get into the Q&A and more conversation, let me go ahead and shout out to the chat. Thank you, Tiara Latrice, for showing up and having everybody hit that like button for me. I appreciate you for showing up. The network is in the building, saying peace and love to everyone. Make sure y'all hit that like button. We got Dangerous in the building. Thank you, Dangerous, for showing up. Peace and love. Appreciate you. Hey, Ben Walker. Thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate you all. So my guest is running a little bit late, but hey, the cynical one. How you doing this evening? Good to see you. Hope everyone's doing well. Y'all, this if y'all don't know, can y'all hear me? Make sure y'all can hear me because I don't. Oh, I think I see my avatar moving now. Okay, I just want to make sure. These hurricanes and me relocating got my allergies. I haven't had allergies in a long time, y'all, but it's affected me a lot. But I'm gonna make it through, and hopefully everyone that is affected by this hurricane is getting the relief and things that they need. And I know a couple of people on YouTube lost some loved ones, so want to make sure check on your loved ones because you never know when you're going to see them again. So as you know, we had the show prior to this, and we were talking about unconditional love. So my question for this evening is, What does unconditional love mean? So, as we were talking this evening, we had a meaning of they. It was broken down. Get this up. That unconditional love is known as one of the purest form of affection, one of the purest forms that we can have. It is cynical one. Thank you for asking. So, as I mentioned, it could be kind of love that is given freely, and there's without any expectations of any return, and it's an unwavering despite external factors, personal flaws, or shortcomings. So we were really breaking this down how unconditional love. The points that I really enjoyed was we broke down how the most universal universal form of unconditional love is, of course, parental love. So if you are a parent, um, you can relate to this because I like I said on the previous show, this shows when you see your child, mother or father, for the first time, and the mother gives birth and the father is there, and you see that child, you just it's a different type of feeling. Even with your grandchildren, it's even worse, y'all. Once you have grandchildren, it's worse. But that love is so different. So when doing the research, it shows that that is the most common way to describe unconditional love. Because, of course, when you're a parent, you know that love is unconditional, and it's a deep feeling that you like this person can never do anything wrong. You know, that's what you think. And we do accept our children's achievements, failures, and even their behaviors, you know, until they start displaying things that we have not actually taught our children, or that we don't agree with, you know, and that's usually things that they learn early in age. It's unfortunate that some children, you know, do happen to learn bad habits, but even in those bad habits and even in those hard times, you still love your child. So that is the most a way to describe that unconditional love is by the parent love. You know, loving your child, uh, gratifying them when they make achievements, being there for them when they have failures, and so forth. So parents' love doesn't cease mistakes or missteps. It's a source of strength and comfort throughout their childhood life. And like I said, unless they really, really do something, and even then, I've seen cases where parents have stood by their children no matter what. They can be in a tough situation and made some harmful mistakes and done some really, really bad things, but they still there for their child unconditionally. So that is definitely one way, not to single me up since I'm here by myself for a minute. That is definitely one way that we can define unconditional love. I think to me, when I was doing the research, I think what I found out, I thought, in which I'm going to go into it, that there is conditions in love, and there actually is. I'm going to go into that as well, where you do have conditions, but when you do have those conditions in love, you tend to have what they call a contract, or you both agree to be in those conditions, which makes it not unconditional love, but more like you guys both have an agreement of how you want things done and how things should be handled. And that's a way that you can definitely show that love has conditions as well. So I'm waiting, like I said, waiting for my co-host. So I'm gonna go on and talk on some more about that, because definitely love can have some conditions. And what we want to think about when we're displaying unconditional love, as I stated in the last show, it doesn't um, allow behaviors that are harmful to yourself or harmful to them. It doesn't excuse those behaviors at all. It means that there might be things you need to discuss, but we're not going to say, hey, unconditional love does not mean unconditional flaws or unconditional, I accept anything that you are doing. And I found that very vital in these conversations that we're having because people think unconditional love means that you accept anything in this relationship. I love you unconditionally, and that's how it goes. But one thing that we didn't talk about that people consider love unconditional is spirituality in religious context. We didn't really go into depth about that because I don't really like to get into too many religious things, but you can have unconditional love for a higher power. And this is when your love is given freely without judgment and regardless of human actions. So when you do have a spiritual connection or religious content, you do tend to have those tendencies of unconditional love because you believe in that higher power and you give yourself freely as well. So what is conditioned love? Because we talk about unconditional love, but what is conditional love? Hey Gary, thank you for showing up. So a conditional love is defined as a love based on certain criteria or conditions that must be met. The love is given or withdrawn depending on conditions that are satisfied. So this occurs in many types of relationships, romantic, family, or friendship. And the type of conditioned love often involves expectations such as behaving in a certain way, fulfilling each other's needs, and overall, these conditions are, if they're not met, then the love can withdraw or fade away. So that's definitely what I feel conditioned love is. So, as I stated before, conditioned love to me is basically saying we both agree on how we're going to have certain criteria or conditions that we both agree to meet. And I heard this on, I think it was TikTok, one of these social medias, that once you start having certain conditions and things of love, a lot of people consider that a contract, hence marriage, you know. And if you're willing to meet those type of conditions in love, it's nothing wrong with that. The conditional love is when it becomes a problem, as I stated before, is when those conditions or standards or criteria that you put out for the person is not met. Hey, Blended. And that's when love starts to fade away. But we know with unconditional love, sorry, God, the dog's barking. Sorry. Hold on real quick. I'm sorry, y'all. Sorry, guys. She's very protective. It tells us when people's coming in the house. So, as I was stating, with unconditional love, you do have different things in relationships that you have the mutual respect, the trust, the communication. So the mutual respect is going to be when you respect each other's feelings and boundaries and values. So to me, when you're having conditioned love, you're going to have something about you're going to break down that respect. This is what I expect you to do to respect me. And that's showing that you have a condition in love. And there's nothing wrong with having conditioned love. And like I said, it's just stating that there's certain conditions that you agree upon and you create a happy relationship or dynamic. Also, you have trust. So trust is very crucial to me in a relationship because without trust, I can't love you. I become more insecure. It seems strained. So with this trust, you also have to set criteria as well, which would be a conditioned love. Unconditionally loving this person, you're going to have trust. But like I said, it's going to create a healthy dynamic. And I think we really need to take this into consideration. When we're having unconditional love, it's a healthy criteria, a healthy dynamic, something that's healthy for you. I think so many people, and I'm guilty of this as myself, thinking that unconditional love was to accept even bad behavior or disrespect or mistrust, or you're not communicating, or um, even having love of selflessness. Hey, Sadi, peace and love. The panel's open if you guys want to come up. My host is, she's busy doing kids things right now, so I'm letting her do that. If you guys want to have a dialogue with me as well, also in the chat, you can ask me any questions or even comment on this as well. And also in a relationship, we want to make sure that the lines of communication are open. This is very, very important because you have to be open and honest. And this is on both sides. It helps people stay together and stay connected. And I say with being communication, it's not listening to respond. This is, I think, Miss T. Shout out to Miss T. She said this. She said this a lot. It's um, communicate not to respond, but communicate to listen. Don't be so eager to have a response ready or already thinking about a response. And I'm gonna speak for myself. I feel that us women do that a lot. Like I used to think ahead. My mate would be talking to me, and I'd be thinking of how I'm gonna respond, and not even hearing a single thing that he said to me. And he's like, "Did you hear me?" And I'm like, "Did I really hear him?" You know what I'm saying? So I have to learn when I'm communicating that it's for to be able to listen to what they're saying and also not be ready to respond. Hold on. Hi, Blended.
Hi, how's my audio?
Fine. How are you this evening?
Good.
Your mental health good?
Uh, I'm a five.
You a
I'm
five?
a
You in
five.
the middle? You in the?
I'm in
Hey,
the middle. I'm in the
I
middle.
rather I rather have you in the middle than below five. You feel me? You know.
All
You
right.
know.
Fair
Yeah.
enough. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good today. Getting over these allergies finally, but then we're getting another hurricane, so we're gonna see how this goes. You know.
Yeah, prayers going up for those in the path of that.
Right.
Truly,
Yeah.
truly.
Definitely.
Finger of God is out there turning up in the Gulf right now. So, truly, I am concerned about people and their safety. I know that the last time I heard, 1 million people evacuated already.
Mhm.
Um, I know they opened up all the lanes and even the shoulder for people to get out. But unfortunately, it's bumper to bumper trying to get out of there. So please be safe. Please make sure that you take care of yourself, your family. Do not leave your pets as they are part of your family.
Mhm.
Um, how are you today, D?
Good, good. How'd you like the show? First, I wanted to ask you, how'd you like the show?
I have to say that I love the show. It was a fantastic show. But I'm
Good.
gonna throw a monkey wrench in your joint.
Oh, here you go. Go ahead.
What if I told you that I don't believe in unconditional love?
I was
The
the same
only
way.
condition, the only condition or unconditional love that I think that's out there is when you have a baby
Mhm.
and you have a child and you have that connection to a point. And then it comes to a point of, do I like the person that they are? I love them, but now I have condition on my love. Because if you do the wrong term based upon what I see, here we go with expectation.
Mhm.
Now I am using my love as either a tool or holding it back for punishment, number one. Number two, even a dog or a cat or a pet doesn't have unconditional love
Right.
because whoever gives them the steak, the snacks, and all of that, they gonna go with that person. You feel me? That's number two. Number three, all love has conditions when you are adulting 101. I truly believe that. Um, I always say keep hope alive. I think that there's levels to that love thing, but
Mhm.
overall, I don't believe in unconditional love.
So me and you are the same, and that's why I had brought this subject because I was like, I believe that love is has conditions. I excuse me. So I'm on your level as well. That's why I started talking about condition love on now that we're having the Q&A, because I have similar I'm like, to me it has conditions. Like, it's just you require to have love at a certain type of level or a respect. So to me, that's a condition. So I totally agree with you. So of course we're on the same wavelength. we're on this,
Mhm.
but there's people that do, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's why I was breaking it down earlier of what that looks like, and now I'm basically saying now this is what conditioned love is, and I think people seem to get the two confused. This is just my perspective. I don't know it all, but I think we really have conditioned love, and there's nothing wrong with saying I have conditioned love. So
I
I think,
think people are so used to saying unconditional love, but if you sit back and you sit in that thing for about a minute, then
hmm,
you realize that there's conditions on everything.
exactly.
Everything is conditional, especially when your expectation is at a different level. Like I said, there's levels to that shit. So the older you get, you
Hmm.
may find that your acceptance level may be different. You know, there's things that you may accept and things that you may not accept. You know, but that comes with experience, in my personal belief. So I could be wrong, but like I said, I think that there's no such thing.
And like I said, I concur with that. And that's the reason why I did want to have this discussion, because there is people, and like I said, there's nothing wrong, but I believe in conditioned love. And definitely understand, because like you said, with age and experience, I do want a certain type of love. I want to be treated a certain type of way. I want to be respected a certain type of way. And to me, that's a condition. Excuse me. Gary asked, can you love without expectation?
Nope,
No.
that was easy.
I mean, if you're not expecting things, how, I mean, it goes, to me, it goes with it. And I think maybe people go too far with the expectations sometimes.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Chrissy says yes. Why you say, Chrissy, put in the chat or hit the panel why you say that. This is why we having this, because I like to hear, and we don't judge over here. I like to hear everybody's thoughts, because we think different. We're not all the same. Chrissy says yes, you can. That you can love without expectations. I just say that if
Boy,
I
she's strong. She's very strong if she can love without expectation because at some level, there is just like you had, like, I always say that sometimes you expect people to respond the way that you want them to respond or to
Mhm.
be the way that you picture them to be. The reality of the situation and reality of where we live. It takes a when you because automatically I think that's human nature. But
Mhm.
when you sit back and you like you have to literally pull yourself back and say, you know what, I'm transferring my expectation onto this other person. But I think that's a matter of training. So you can train your mind to literally think that way. And if she got that beat, I applaud her. I really do.
Me too.
Because that's some hard shit to do right
Because
there. It is.
I have expectations of how I want to be loved and treated, and it's not like far-fetched, or I don't believe it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's in reason, but it's just a way that I want to feel when I'm receiving love. It's just the way what I expect. And I'm not saying like
Up
I get
there it is. I was waiting for you to say it.
what.
I expect.
Right.
I expect to be treated X, Y, and Z. Now, what if you run across somebody that has all of your written paper words down on the, well, he got to be tall, he got to 7 feet, and shit like that, right? And then you say, but I expected he got everything else, but he's short one thing. What do you do?
I'm still gonna go for it. So what I was gonna say is I
But your
expect.
expectation.
No, but okay. Let me finish because I was gonna say I expect a person to be who they are. That's what I was gonna say, not who I want them to be. So my expectation is that I find someone that has already within them the qualities that I expect. That's what I'm saying. I expect them to be the person they are. I'm not expecting them to change, but expecting me to have somebody that has qualities that I love or can have a relationship with. So
So
I
you
want
know I'm
them
here to play the devil's advocate, right?
always.
Uh, so there goes that expectation again. So now, say for instance, right? This person that
Hmm.
is saying, okay, he got all the qualities, or she got all the qualities that I'm looking for, right? What if after the honeymoon period, and you find out that this person ain't got that shit? Then what? Now you vested. You have given this person your mind, your body, and your soul. Now you vested. What do you do?
That's when you got to have a conversation to decide if you're going to stay in that relationship. Because what you showed me, you was, and now what you showing me is totally different. We're going to have to talk about this. We're going to have to definitely have a conversation about this relationship. Because, hey, if you change, and I understand people change, but then we're definitely going to have a conversation about this, and that's where I feel that communication comes in.
Now, how many people do you know do that?
They can't even do that in regular friendships.
That
I
I'm
feel,
just saying.
I'm with you. I'm with
Because of
you.
the expectation, right? Because maybe you're holding them to a different standard than you would hold somebody else,
Hmm.
you know? So maybe you're holding, like, say for instance, your friend, right? Old girl, your friend. Uh,
Hmm.
she got a dude and you can see things that she wouldn't see, right?
Hmm.
And you
Hmm.
be like, I'm never going to be in that bad, right?
Hmm.
And then you find yourself, because you find yourself in a similar situation, right?
Hmm.
Right. So now it's like, okay, I'm vested. They showed me something different. This is not the person that because you hear this all the time. This is not the person that I fell in love with. I don't know what happened to them, blah, blah, right?
Hmm.
So now you're holding this person to a different standard, whether you're up to scale or you down to scale, right?
Right.
But now your expectation has changed based upon the behavior of yours.
Right.
You're holding them to a different standard.
Hmm.
Even though old girl's boyfriend and your man are the same. Let's just say that they're the same people, right? Just so happens to be. They got similar traits and characteristics. Now you're holding your person to a higher standard. Am I
I
saying that right? I think so.
I understand
What's
what
up,
you're saying.
Kels?
Hey, Kels.
Hey, hey.
I understand what you're saying, but I can only speak for me because it's my experience, and we're gonna answer Gary's question as well. Because I'm a communicator. So like if I don't feel something's right or something's if I'm expecting or things have changed, I am gonna communicate that now. Now in my earlier years, no. It was like you're tripping, this is not how it's supposed to be, and not even realizing you can outgrow a person, especially if you get in a relationship or marriage young like I did. I was very young, you know, and we did grow out of that. So I can see what you're saying, but like I being older now, I definitely see where that is it's all about that conversation.
Well, I was understanding that I'm not a communicator. You feel me? What's
I
up,
feel
Shorty?
you.
So I'm not a communicator. You know what I'm saying? Because it's either one way or the other with me. It is no gray area. Either I'm gonna give it to you the way I see it, or I'm not gonna give it to you at all. So, but when it's recognized that you're not a communicator, but then never mind. I'm going. I'm buttoning up. Let me shut the hell up while I'm
So,
ahead.
okay, before ladies, welcome to the panel. Hey, Saudi. I was
Hey.
interacting with Gary real quick. So that he said that's a preference, not an expectation. A lot of our preference is outside instead of inside out. And then he says, ask the question, what is the preference outweighs your expectation? And is there a difference between preference and expectations? He's saying asking a lot, y'all. But before we go
Yes,
in, which
the
one are
answer
you
to you.
saying yes to?
There is a thing called you have a preference opposed to an expectation. I agree with that statement,
Hmm.
meaning that there is a difference between a preference and an expectation. I would
Hmm.
prefer you to be tall. I would prefer for you to be nice. I would prefer that you didn't hold me to a different standard. I would prefer, you know what I mean? So
Right.
I would prefer those things. Do I expect that out of them? I would hope, but I don't expect anything from anybody because the way, maybe I'm jaded. You know what I'm saying? I've been around the block a little bit longer than most. So I think that a preference is definitely more of what it really is, opposed to an expectation. Because I don't expect shit out of nobody, for real.
So, True Daughter of Darkness said, it's always love to me. I learned that love is just frequency, and I don't expect people to be anything because people are going to do and be themselves. That's exactly what you just said. I agree with that as well. So,
Yeah,
preference. Go ahead.
yeah, no, I agree. And actually, Blended, you helped me out with this one on our last conversation about having that expectation. So you're absolutely right at that. You can't have an expectation of somebody. The only expectation should be held individually on oneself.
Facts.
Hmm.
Facts.
Agreed.
I agree with that.
Okay, ladies. So let me ask y'all this because me and Blended have the same thoughts on things. You guys believe in unconditional love? Whoever wants to take, I guess. Look, silence, silence.
And don't repeat. Wait, repeat that. Ask that again.
Do you think? Do you? Well, okay. I don't want to say. Do you think they're? Well, I guess I could say believe because I don't care about that word, but most people do. But anyway, do you believe in unconditional love?
I do. I do. The one thing that I could say about unconditional love is that you have to set up boundaries,
Hmm.
healthy boundaries in an unconditional love. Because here's the thing, I think we fall away from setting that expectation, and that's what takes us out of our unconditional love. We should love people exactly the way that they show up to us, and understand that.
when you choose to love somebody, you're doing exactly that. You're choosing that. So to say that you have unconditional love but don't treat a person the way that you should, that's not unconditional. Now, that's not to say that you'll allow somebody to harm you or have a toxic relationship, but you should love somebody exactly the way they show up if you choose to love them, because you're saying, I love you regardless of how you show up or how you are. I love you.
Hmm. I agree. Peace and love, ladies. Peace and love.
Peace and
Um, yeah.
Yes,
First
good.
off, I want to go back to I do believe that there's unconditional love. But I want to go back to the difference between real quick a preference and an expectation. And I do feel like that there's a difference, especially because a preference is more um like you might express your preference by saying like, well, I would prefer or I would rather. And the expectation to me is like someone that might express their expectation by saying like you should, ought to, or it's supposed to be. um and that's why titles are hard, because they come with expectations, and you're like, nah, this is just these are just preferences of what's going on. But as far as my views on unconditional love, at first I always thought it couldn't exist because humans always love with intentions and motives, like naturally. But when you love, you want it to be reciprocated, of course, or like sees the feeling of like loneliness and etc. But my view had changed because I began saying that unconditional love does exist if you love someone, when you love for someone that remain unchanged, like even after they hurt you, like you continue to wish them happiness while being on their side. But I just feel like I just find unconditional love so pure when it comes to like family and friendships, especially when you're close with them. But regarding romantic love, I think that unconditional love doesn't have its place. There isn't there's like, let me see, can be very destructive sometimes when it comes to romantic love. But I feel like with unconditional love, you know, um, like Kelly said, just because someone sometimes you got to set those boundaries. But just because if someone goes out of my boundaries or disrespects me all of a sudden, I don't instantly don't love them anymore, because I feel like everyone wants something out of someone else. But as long as you just require those boundaries, or say, hey, this is the line that you've crossed, and hold people accountable to how they're going to treat you if it's not resonated, then you should let it go.
So, real quick, let me do my little shout out.
Mhm.
Hi, Sister Empress Sharon. Hey, Coach D. Thank you for showing up. So, I'm going to be like blended. Why do we call it unconditional love when that sounds like there's a condition?
Mm.
Um, well, I think we call it I don't think that we really know what unconditional love consists. I think that when we break it down, like we said, that the most purest form of unconditional love is between a parent and a child, that relationship there. And that kind of cleared it out for me to understand, do I have unconditional love for people just in general, just by that form of love that we talked about? When
Mm.
you look at it, how are you with your children? You know what I mean? Like, you love them. They can get on your nerves. They can tear your stuff up. They can break it. They can go against your boundaries. They can even go against you at times. But that does not take away the quality or the way that you love them. So when you're looking at people, if you love them, because I know that I've had it thrown back at me where my love was considered conditional because I wouldn't accept toxic behavior. And so I think we kind of get caught up in what unconditional love means, that you're supposed to accept the behaviors that that I have. And if they're toxic or abusive, you still supposed to love me. Well, it's not saying that I don't love you because I don't accept these things. It's just that the healthy boundary for this is saying, hey, I won't accept the fact that you are either toxic or abusive. I don't know if people really kind of dwell in that, because most people don't even know what abuse is. They could just think that abuse may be if I put my hands on you. So I think that we just have to clear out what unconditional love is.
So, Gary said unconditional love to me is I can love someone and prefer it in return, but there's no expectation of it to return to you. Is that what he's saying? Yeah, to back to him.
I
So
agree with Gary too.
I agree.
so is that not a condition? And this is why we're talking. Is that not a condition?
Hmm.
I don't think that it's a condition because once you drop the expectation, it allows you to see something more clearer.
True.
So okay. Coach D said the condition of unconditional love is there's no condition. It's ultimately a decision of an individual. Hmm, interesting. I guess I think that condition, because when I was breaking down conditional love, did y'all hear what I was breaking down? That so people, well, we're just gonna go by what it was stating, because I was like, well, that's what everybody wants. Unconditional love was defined as love that is not dependent on any specific actions, behaviors, or condition. It is given freely and remains constant regardless of circumstances, right? Conditional love is based on a certain criteria or condition that must be met. That love is given or withdrawn dependent on these conditions if they're satisfied. And this can be in any type of form. So the characteristics of involves expect the type of love it involves expectations, innocence, preferences, such as behaving in certain ways, fulfilling needs, confirming a particular values. If these conditions are not met, the love may fade or be withdrawn.
Hmm. That's tricky.
Exactly. And this is why I wanted to have this discussion because I
I'm
feel
like,
like,
can you only unconditionally, hmm, like, can you only unconditionally love just yourself?
huh?
I'm
What you
like,
say?
I feel like you can only, I don't know, it's making me think. Because it's like, I can only unconditionally love myself, right? Because it's like, only I could feel myself, right? Like, only I could be like, kick me when I'm down or whatever it is. But I'm like, nah, even throughout my mistakes or whatever goes on, I'm like, well, I try my best. And that's, hold up. I don't know.
I guess where I think that I see it is that taking the expectation out of it
Hmm.
is where the unconditional love comes in, because if I don't expect you to be a certain way with me, I think I can love you clearly.
Hmm.
I think that I can really love you in a way that unconditional love will show up if I don't have the expectation. Expectation makes you put the condition there. Because if I expect you to do this and you don't do that, then that's where the love starts to waver or fade, because it's only depending on if you're acting this way or if you show up this way. So if I can say take the expectation completely off, because there's at times where I also have to take the expectation off of my own self. I know it sounds weird, but I have to take the expectation off myself in order to think clear minded on what is it that I'm supposed to be doing for myself. Am I loving myself in the right way? Am I showing up for myself? Am I being there? Am I holding myself accountable? These are all things that come with self love as well. So if I can love myself, then I can surely give that love to someone else.
Okay, sorry, y'all. I was blowing
I,
my nose. Go ahead, y'all talk real quick.
I agree with you, Kelly. That's true. That's why you have to have it with yourself, really. But if you're just like what Mama D said earlier, if you're just like down talking yourself or don't really love yourself, like, why are you going to the next person to look for that? And if
Mm-hmm.
I'm just unconditioning myself and I'm just overflowing with love because I know I love myself 100%, and it just overflows to you, where it's like, okay, well, I know Lakeisha loves me unconditionally, um, because look at the way she treats herself. Look at the way she treats the people around her. When you
Mm-hmm.
got to make sure that there's boundaries, like you said, or because people will take advantage of that. and you got to be like, there's no expectations with this. Just want to let you know. I don't think people like that part.
Well,
So,
is it safe to say that unconditional love comes with boundaries?
Yeah,
instead of
absolutely.
the instead of the expectation, unconditional love comes with boundaries. And
mm-hmm,
if you look at it from that point of view, everything in life comes with boundaries.
mm-hmm,
The law has boundaries, you know what I mean? You can't do this within the law, or you're breaking those boundaries and you have to deal with the repercussion.
mm-hmm,
So I think that it's safe to say, to set up those healthy boundaries in a healthy unconditional love relationship, there are boundaries, because there's a way that unconditional love should show up. So if I'm supposed to be here for you and support you, then doesn't that come with communication? So would
mm-hmm,
communication be one of those boundaries that you have? Well, hey, a boundary of mine, or a boundary in this relationship, because this has to be decided between the two people that are claiming unconditional love.
mm-hmm.
So you talk about this is a boundary for the both of us, and as long as y'all come straight with each other, y'all should be okay because it's agreed upon.
Coach D said, when I think of unconditional love without emotion, it goes against universal law, cause and effect. Then I wonder why would I want it? If I could love my wife the way she loved me, I wouldn't. Now, Chrissy said, and then I have a whole comment. Hold on. Hi, get it from my daddy. Thanks for showing up. Okay, okay, Saudi, you gotta fix your picture when you get a chance. Chrissy said there's no such thing as unconditional love. Love is love. We as humans are the ones that divide love into categories and put expectations, conditions, and preferences. And love is an energy. Oh, he said 100%, a frequency and a feeling. So, what if I say this? In relationships, there could be both conditional and unconditional love. This is what I'm saying. So, for example, you might love somebody unconditionally, but you still accept them to have certain type of behaviors, like communication, like I was saying, and mutual respect, to have that good, healthy relationship. So the conditions don't mean that you don't love them or it's not genuine, but it's just like Kelly said, a boundary and respect that is needed in a relationship.
Hmm.
So do you guys believe love should always be unconditional, or do you think some conditions are based on if it's necessary or suitable for the relationship?
I think it's situational, and I guess I'll go back to what someone's comment said. Love is love. You choose when you choose it. I mean, this is kind of, I think, where it gets tricky, because when you choose love, we automatically put conditions on it. I think, just as us being human beings, we put conditions on our love just because of how it could be how we're raised, it could be how we're taught. Some people have not been shown love, so their definition of unconditional love may be, you do accept everything that I do, or you shouldn't have any boundaries or anything to say on how I behave.
Hmm. Based on how they're raised, yeah, based on their beliefs, because they
So,
may
and I
look at unconditional love as abuse. Like you've seen someone in an abusive relationship, and they're like, well, he loves me, but I'm going through X, Y, Z. But that's unconditional because they're still with me. They're still rocking with me. They look at it as so many ways
hmm
programmed or whatever they went through just kind of messed them up. But yeah, I think there could be a blend of both conditional and unconditional love elements for sure. Hmm.
Do we focus so much on love? Hey, E. Nicole, thank you for showing up. Peace and love. Make sure y'all sub up to E. Nicole, y'all. She had a show today. I wasn't able to go over there because I was doing ours, but y'all make sure y'all come and check us out. She have grown shit. I think she's gonna come bringing it back tomorrow, y'all. So y'all make sure y'all sub it. And I lost my thought. Mm, mm, mm. I can't go ahead, y'all. I can't remember what I was gonna say. It was a good point, but I
Well,
can't remember what it was.
we were just talking about it. It could be just because of the way that you're raised that love can be considered conditional or non-conditional.
Yeah, it didn't trigger what I was gonna say. It's okay. It just, you know how that happens. You know how that happens. Make sure you drop your link, Nicole. Oh, or I'll do it for you.
There's conditional aspects to
Okay, Blended. Thank you. Have a good night.
it's not
Good
blended.
night, Blended.
I feel like with the blend of both conditional and unconditional love, some conditional aspects could be, sometimes loving someone based on their just shared values, just the mutual respect that they have, that they're committed to their personal growth and supporting each other's goals. That could be conditional, and then there could be some unconditional aspects as far as accepting your person's, like you said, the flaws, and supporting them through tough times, and making sure that you're like cherishing their worth regardless of any of their external factors that's going on in their life. So um as long as you have those healthy boundaries and mutual growth and communication, like you said,
So,
especially the healthy boundaries, because
right.
it
Coach
doesn't
D,
mean it doesn't mean exactly ignoring those harmful behaviors that they're doing. um and having conditions around respecting boundaries and personal needs is super crucial to me. But if you're not having mutual growth, like, conditions can, like, they're basically, I feel like they encourage your partner or your friend to work on their self-improvement, especially if you want to maintain that healthy habit or relation within their relationship. But some people think, all love is conditional, and because when you was questioning it earlier, you're like, well, doesn't that come with conditions? Like, sort of. I guess so.
see. So look what Coach D. Let me put some background music. But look what Coach D said. Yeah, love is love. People describe love from their perspective. Most confuse, sorry, love and lust. That's right. There's a thin line between, it's a thin line. Sorry, I have to start singing that. Between love and hate. Okay, yes, definitely agree. And y'all make sure y'all sub up to Coach D. He had a awesome bill just off the subject a little bit about I was in the clouds about the root chakra. So drop your link, Coach D. If y'all don't know who Coach D is, he's now formerly the word. He's now Coach D. So y'all go check him out as well. I feel like I need some background music. Y'all let me turn it down now. I feel like it needs okay. So I agree with him on that too. I think people get confused just saying the word unconditional love.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why can't we say condition love? Because that's how I feel. Like I have
Or
conditions.
why can't we just say love?
Right. You
Hmm.
right.
When I say that I love, here's the thing. Like I said, it gets tricky when, because I'll tell you right now, there's people that I absolutely love that are not in my life today.
Hmm.
It doesn't change the way that I love them. You know what I mean? But it just means that there was a boundary there that we both agreed that we wouldn't be this to each other. And because that unconditional love is there, like,
Yep.
I could still support you in a certain way. It's just that I won't be there in a way if it is a, a negative situation or a toxic situation. So
Hmm.
that doesn't take away from the love. And I think, like Coach D said, sometimes we mix that lust in, which really gets tricky because lust can absolutely look like love.
That's true.
So Sharon said, Kills, I was just saying love is love. Love don't love nobody. People do. Love is an action of expression, eating, but anxious to come up and oh, she's come. Okay, she's gonna come up and share.
Hmm.
So Coach D asked us a question. How would you describe love? Y'all go ahead, cause I talk about it
Love,
on
I
my
think
in my intro.
love is love. The way that I would describe love is being supportive, communicating, helping someone grow. Where You guys are lending into each other time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
let's see, I said communication.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just being there for someone, support.
Yep.
I think that's the main thing, is being there and supporting someone.
Mm-hmm.
That, I think that's the biggest one that I think that we kind of get confused too, because we confuse uh supporting. Some people think just because you support somebody, you got to be all in. That's not necessarily true. It's just my love that could show support to someone. It doesn't mean that I have to just be doing everything for a person. But my love allows me to support. My love will allow me to guide. My love will allow me to take accountability for myself, to show up in a manner that is conducive to the both of us growing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's where I would say
Mm.
what love means.
Ashe. That's good. I agree. And to build on that, I feel like love is just like this complex emotion. Of course, it's a feeling, of course, that we get with this emotional connection and attraction. It could be a range of experiences, just hanging out with somebody, and it could just come from simple pleasures to affection to a food. Like it isn't like, you know how you love a food. Like I love chocolate cake. Like that's a relationship. These aren't just items or anything. It's like it's a relationship with everything, and it's a psychological drive too. um some people say love's just not an emotion, but it's a essential psychological drive, because you do get to say, oh my gosh, you've helped me grow, you helped me, you poured so much into me. I love that. And then it's just basically, it's a theme of like creative arts, like massage therapy. I love to massage, I love to paint. These are relationships that I have that I feel like is love. It doesn't have to be just a certain person or anything. It's a combination of, virtue and vice, pretty much. You represent, as humans, this type of kindness and compassion and affectionate with someone. But it's different to different people. So I feel like sometimes love, it can be so caring, so much that you will almost do anything for them, and it can get, love is craziness, insanity in a blender, really sometimes. But at least with my love could be crazy, but it's basically an expression or a feeling for another person or thing.
Yeah. Let's welcome in for Sharon to the panel. And thank you, Dangerous. Dangerous said this is a fire bill. And
Thanks,
then
Danger.
Coach D said that it's like that the internet results equal the betterment of the person given. Shout
Hmm.
out to Kinka herself in the building. Y'all hear that new joint that I played? Y'all gonna cop that rebound. Definition definition has depth in it. Unconditional is the question. Yes,
Hmm.
I like that also expression. Go ahead, Sharon.
Hi. Everybody brung up some great points from what I was listening to. The person that said love is energy and how they explain it. I mean, it just opened my eyes to another perspective. That I didn't look at, but
Mhm.
I would say, it is the energy, but I believe where unconditional love comes in at is, and this is just, where my understanding of it is, a lot of times we tell people, I love you, I love you, and then if they do something, and I'm gonna use like mother and daughter to, I guess, make it a little more clearer, to give her a better picture. I might say, yeah, I love my child, I
We
love my
agree.
child, but
Thanks for showing up.
then when they do something that I don't approve of, then I'm like, I'm pushing them out the way, I'm upset with them, I don't want nothing to do with them. And sometimes some of us parents that even disown a child because they didn't do what we wanted to do with them. But I say, if we love them, even if they did something wrong, yes, let's correct them and show them what it is. And even if they don't understand it, But does that stop you from loving that child?
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. True.
So I feel like it's definitely an expression, and pretty much it's not, even if they push them away or disown them, it's not that they don't love them, they really do, but they're hurt because they didn't do what they expected them to do. And I think that's where the term unconditional comes in at, because we love them, they're our child, just because they didn't do what we wanted them to do. We still supposed to have that unconditional love for them, where we're not going to just disown them and say, I'm done with you or whatever. I love you, I'm upset about what you did, but that's not going to stop me from, when you need me, I'm going to be there.
Mhm.
So let's see. Yeah, hey Gabe, I'm making sure you heard me this time. I know we gotta thank you for showing up. So Aladdin said,
So
no, go ahead.
uh, I feel that unconditional might be a concept that came up to explain that type of scenario, but at the same time, it's still a word of expression. Or yes.
Mhm. He said, no condition is unconditional, yet we still, he said, was supposed to be put conditions on unconditional. Right. That's what I'm saying.
I
And,
agree. I
and
agree.
I want to bring this part out. The unconditional love, this is the part that I really, when we were doing research, does not mean allowing a person to be treated poorly or accepting harmful behavior. So we need to know the difference between loving unconditionally and accepted, intrusive, or toxic relationships. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I know a lot of people, um, unconditional. Like I said, I've heard that before, and I know it was the people I was around, but they was like, I just love him no matter what he do. Girl, he's toxic. No, I'm just saying though,
Mhm.
and it doesn't mean that you accept a behavior or be treated a certain type of way. So that's why I was like, to me, that's a condition. So y'all go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I kind of lost my thought, but
Sorry.
speaking on the unconditional love, I'm trying to really collect where I was going with that. But I was questioning myself about unconditional love, because some people say, well, I thought you loved me, and so if you love me, you accept, what I bring forth, or, be
Mhm.
patient with me, or, that type of thing. But I can say that when you see, sometimes we might, excuse me, love somebody so much that we are pretty much willing to settle and put ourselves aside because we love this person so much and want them, but there might not be a connection or a reciprocation in that. So, and I'm talking from a little experience. So I know I have taken myself to a point when I've faced that type of thing to say, well, I love them, but being in love with them don't mean that I have to accept that behavior or stay in that relationship. I love them enough to let them go.
Hmm. And that's my phrase, Sharon. I can love you. It
Mhm.
doesn't mean we have to be together. I say that all
Mhm.
the time.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
you're absolutely right, Sharon. Cause that and it was funny because when me and Dee was doing the research, I I asked her. I said, I don't know if I unconditionally loved any relationship that I was in beside my kids. just just and
Mhm.
I'm looking at it
Mhm.
just from the perspective of how the world is, more so of what we
Mhm.
see going on in the world, because now everything has kind of flipped on its head now, where we have people that think that being in a relationship where your man chokes you up or your woman slaps you around is unconditional. It's not even being looked at
Mhm.
as is toxic or abusive. Like, we have people that are accepting these things. You have men and women out here that are in relationships where they're are with serial cheaters, where they have a person that cheats on them constantly, and you'll have a woman say, well, hey, he's my man, I'm gonna still stay with him no matter what. And not looking at the fact that you can actually love somebody without having to be there. That is the unconditional. The unconditional part is,
Mhm.
I'm going to love you regardless of who you are. That don't mean that I have to stay with you.
Mhm.
It don't mean that I have to be with you,
Mhm.
because I unconditionally love you. I unconditionally love you to for you to be exactly who you show up to be. Because there is no
Right.
expectation that I have on you to change or any of that. Because if I love you unconditionally, usually unconditional love will kind of push someone into a mode of change. Somebody will change because you show them unconditional love. There's so many people out here
Mhm.
that haven't been loved properly,
Man.
that when you just literally allow them to be who they are, and you guide them in a mode or in a mind, a thought process of growth, on pushing them to growing, and you can guide them in that way. That is what the unconditional love is. I'm not going to change you, but if I can help you be better, I'm going to do that. If it takes for me to be over here that helps you get better, then I would do that. That's my unconditional love that I'm showing for you, that I'm allowing you to be who you are. Not gonna take that from you, because that is the condition, is that I will withhold my love because you're not being who I want you to be, or you're not meeting a certain expectation. So I'm going to withdraw that love. So to your
Mm.
point, Sharon, is just that unconditional love is just, hey, I'm here. I'm supporting. I have your back. I'm here for the growth of us, if that's what's wanted. But we got to remember, we live in a world where so many people are caught up in the day in and day out of life. And so what they're looking at is, for how do you show love? You know what I mean? I think that's another way too, because you'll have people say that, if you love me, you'll show me in this type of way. And is that conditional?
Mm. And
Go ahead. Saudi, your device saying
it's funny
it's not
because
hooked up. Go ahead. Her device says not. She's trying to come
I've
back.
been on the phone. Oh, I'm
Hmm.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I've been on the phone most of the day having a conversation with one of my spiritual sisters about relationship and love, and some of the things that have come up, topics that come up, and excuse me, this the panel as well as in the chat. But and we were talking about, and I was telling her about Goddess D and Blended doing a whole segment on relationships and stuff. But we was talking about how, we've been conditioned to look at love as more of a physical aspect, you know, in a lot of ways. Because
Hey,
and
P1,
not to pick on
hello.
the men, or not to pick on the men or anything, but we was talking about how men are more physical and women are more emotional and spiritual, and how it's like, we as women, when we meet a man or whatever, sometimes we really is not ready for the physical aspect of the relationship, but we will sometimes conform because we know this is what the man expects. And we was talking about how men growing up, they are taught not to become emotionally attached to a woman, and they might mess around with this and that and the other. So when men get into relationships, they're not really getting into it for the love aspect because they're already taught, as young boys, that you don't fall in love, you don't get crazy over women and that type of stuff. So they're more into it for the physical, for the satisfaction of the physical. And when I say this, I'm not saying all men, but this is mostly what society have taught the men, and then the women are taught to get married and all that. So we trying to find a husband, we trying to find, somebody that, we can really love and marry and have children, because this is what we're taught. So I said that to say that we as a society have been really taught aspects of love, marriage, and a lot of things that really is not so. It's not God's way and God's law. You know, um, we men, are supposed to, be after the same as women, looking for somebody to be married, but not saying that it's their fault, but this is how we've been brought up from generations and generations. And it's like we have to relive, really sometimes shed a lot of things that we have learned and be open to, I guess, relearn the right way of going about love and marriage and relationships and all types of things. So I said that to say that, what we have been conditioned, excuse me, to expect love is or whatever, not don't necessarily have to be, because we learned that from generations and generations. But from the godly aspect of love, it is like an energy. It is, a action. And I'm gonna share. Did a reading on myself this morning, and it was talking about how you be broken hearted and stuff, and then it's hard to open your heart up for love. And it was talking about how, picture yourself, letting your heart open up like it's a rose, a rose closed up, but you're, trying to let love in, and it's eventually, the pebbles start opening up. And as the pebbles open up and you're experience that love and all that, picture the pebbles detaching and floating out to the universe and spreading the love, within the universe, within, to others and all that. So I said that example just to pretty much show the what I received today when I got that love. It's like an energy, it's an emotion, it's an expression, it's a feeling.
Right. So that's I was the chat. Shout out to the chat. Y'all in there rocking out. I'm trying to keep up. They got a lot of things,
Yes.
but I appreciate. I'm trying. You guys are all making valid points. So the first thing I was gonna go. Let me try to go back. Yeah. So Aladdin said that love is supposed to be a high vibrational frequency emotion. That's it. I agree with that. And then also I wanted to. He just commented. So Coach D said this is I like this. A lot of modern day concerts were created to
Mm-hmm.
indoctrinate people into mediocrity, to get people to settle. I give my wife her wants, needs,
Mhm.
and desires because she does the same. We complement each other. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the
Mm-hmm.
action. And
Exactly.
Gary
Exactly.
said, a man that gets marries the preference, not the expectation, in his opinion. And then I'm
Yeah.
trying.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's kind of where I was going, kind of where King of Higher Self and Coach D is. It's the society that puts that stigma on us.
Mhm.
Where so we are so
Mhm.
indoctrinated that we don't even know. I mean, how many people truly know what unconditional love is? Because I will tell you, and start until we started really doing research, I knew what love is and my version of what I thought love was, but I wasn't opened up until we really start doing the research. And like I said, when we related it to a parent and child relationship on how a parent loves a child, it really opened my eyes to what conditional love looks like. And so it was like once I opened my eyes to that view, I'm like, wait a minute. I have loved the relationships that I was in. I loved in that relationship. It didn't matter how the person showed up or what they were doing. I still loved them. And even though, like I said, there are people that I love that are still not, that I'm not in relationship with any longer, but it doesn't take away the love that I have for them. And so I really had to take myself out of the mindset that, one, we treat love like an exchange. Like, you give me love, I'm gonna give you this. You show me love, then I can give you this.
Mm-hmm.
It is so transactional now. Like, we've come out of the world of love and we've made turned love to be transactional. So we not really living out of love. Nowadays you got people, look, you can't even talk to me unless you're doing this for me. That's how you show me that you love me. It's been so transactional that we've now confused what love is.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Coach D hit that right on the head. We're so indoctrinated, we really don't know what it looks like. And then until you experience
Mm-hmm.
somebody that knows what true love really is, you also have to be open, because what true love looks like, some people will be like, you a fool for loving that person like that. And not understanding, well, no, I do love them, but
Mm-hmm.
there's boundaries set up here in which this, I'm not gonna let, as long as it, if it remains toxic or abusive, I can't really be in this relationship. But that doesn't change the way I love.
Right. Right.
So I
So
think
this,
it's, you look at it in a different perspective.
right. So love is a very high frequency emotion. You as an individual have the choice to do what you want with the energy. Love is what you make it. Yet we allow others to tell us what to do with it. Let's go. Anything we feel. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
then Chrissy, I love this. If
Mm-hmm.
you want to use the word unconditional love, it's the acceptance of all things, the good, the bad, ugly, and the beautiful. Love isn't an action if you ask me, yet I'm a yield. Okay. But
You
this
said
is how
what?
he said he's going to yield. He doesn't think love is an action if you ask him. That's why we have this done. You know, I
Well,
told you.
please explain. Please explain. Yes. We're open to, because I mean, none of us, I won't say don't have the correct answer, but I've always been told there's many ways to see a thing as it is people to see it. So your, explanation, we can't really say is wrong. We want to hear it because it might give us a different perspective.
Oh, that's what we do over here at the Love Palace. You know, we don't judge
And
over here.
Right,
Why?
I can kind of
right.
see where he says that though. Like, cuz love, I don't think is an action.
Hmm.
Love is an affection, it's a
Hmm.
strong emotion,
It's an
it's a
affect. It's
feeling,
an emotion. Yeah, it's
it's
an
an emotion.
expression.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. And so the thing is when you're
Hmm.
coming from that expression, that's when it becomes the action. But the initial love part
Right.
is not
Exactly.
the
That's why I
action.
said action of expression. Right.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
So let's read
So
Gary's
I
comment.
guess that was good. That was good, King of Higher Self.
He comes back and answers. Let me talk about this. Even on this app, I have grown to love people that is passionate about what they do, and I can support and love them without any expectations in return. I feel you on that, Gary. And then he said,
Hmm. Hmm.
action
Hmm.
equals do. I can love and not do anything. Yes, I agree with that. And not do anything with you. I get
Hey,
Hmm.
yes,
I'm
yes,
in
yes,
that
Hmm.
yes,
right
yes,
now. So
Okay.
yes,
let's go, King of
Right.
Higher Self.
yes.
Let's
Right.
go. Yes,
Okay. Thank
absolutely.
you.
Hey, Gary, you can.
Yes.
So I say you can love without action or expression because I can love you like he just said. I can love you and not do anything with you. but I love you, boo.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what Coach D said. Love
So
is
it's a
the
feeling,
action,
it's an expression,
yeah, of
it's an
love.
energy. Yes.
If you notice, like I said, my intro at the Love Palace is love and a deep and intense, deep feeling and affection for something or someone. That's what I say
Mhm.
at the beginning. So yeah, a frequency that is an action is the expression of love. Now, with that, it should be easy to write when love is given. Absolutely. You guys are making all valid points.
Mhm.
Like I said, there is no wrong or
Mhm.
right answer. I love that
Exactly.
that everybody's expressing themselves. I still believe that my love has condition. I have conditioned love, and I that's just how I feel about it. And I everybody's perspective is. I love hearing everybody's perspective about this. Like I said, there's no wrong or right answer. This is what we do is to
Mhm.
actually talk about these things. Um, because
Mhm.
it came up because people use unconditional love. They throw that word around so freely. I was like, well, I
Mhm.
want my love, and that's where I came up with. I want my love to have conditions. I'm like, I really do. You holding on, God? Yeah, I am. I'm trying to wait for you guys. So, I was like, I want my love to have conditions in a way of how I want to be treated. And it's okay if you can't treat me that way because, as I've been saying for real, for years, I can love you and not be with you.
Can I ask a question?
Mhm.
Oh,
So,
shoot.
if you have unconditional love for yourself, is it conditional when you say that I can't be in this relationship? Does that mean your love has conditions because you unconditionally love yourself, though? Does that
Well,
mean your love has
Mm.
condition?
Great point.
if you unconditionally love yourself, can you? You're saying asking if can you have love with condition?
Yeah.
So okay,
Because
let's.
you
There's a lot of
so so
questions. Okay,
so
let's
so I'm
go.
I'm saying so I'm saying if you unconditionally love yourself, you are going to do the things that's beneficial for yourself and possibly for others, right? So when you say your love has conditions, does that mean it really has conditions if you say you're putting those boundaries up to say, hey, we both agree that you're not if you don't treat me because from hearing what we talked about unconditional love, it was if it's toxic or abusive or the behavior is toxic, right?
Mhm.
Well, if that is the case, then it's going against the boundaries, right? So is that a condition?
Yeah. So I was gonna say it's a lot of questions because I was gonna say exactly what Christy said after this because you
Mm-hmm.
asked about that. But let's ask this real quick. Have you ever loved somebody and had to cut them off? Absolutely.
Oh
Have you
yes.
loved somebody and had to let them go? Yes.
Yes.
And then so this is the question I say too. So question, do you have conditions on the love you have for yourself? And that's what I was gonna say to you, Kelly. Do you
Mm.
have conditions on the love that you have for yourself? You-
See, that's deep.
that is that is. So Gary said
Mm.
that he has Aladdin. It's easy to let them go because love is selfless act, in my opinion. Yes, some people don't love themselves though. Right.
Treating myself,
Exactly. You
and
guys
if
are
I'm not
rocking in the
treating
chat.
myself that way,
Mhm.
it's going to look a little different.
Mhm.
Do you have?
And
Go ahead.
mhm.
Go ahead, Sharon.
No, go ahead.
No, because I
No,
don't want
I
you to
was
forget.
and I am trying to forget. No, but I was something you said struck the question about loving yourself.
Yeah. Do you?
Um
So was it this?
and
So
unconditional love for yourself. It was a question I wanted to ask about. Oh, so when I was thinking about the unconditional love for yourself, what makes you, like, say if you say you don't love yourself, what makes you not love yourself? Because that's what somebody brung up. What if the person don't love themselves? What is
Mhm.
it that would make you not love yourself? And I'm gonna
You know,
answer that question.
okay, go ahead.
Because what makes you not love yourself is what somebody else say of you, your shortcomings, or whatever it is about you that they dislike. But then it make me go into when we do the shadow work, and it says that we have to embrace our shadows. That thing that somebody else might not like of you, and that you learn to not like of you. When you actually embrace your shadows and start looking at your shadows, you learn that that particular thing is there for a reason. And addressing your shadows is helping you to look at that thing and understand where you need to correct that thing, but also understand that because that thing was brought out to you, you seen a reason to correct it. So if it was not brought out to you, not saying that it's not needed, because I won't say get rid of it, but you see a need, I would say, to adjust that thing, because it's actually there in you for a reason, but you got to know how to use it and how to keep it at balance.
Okay.
So did I confuse you or whatever?
No, 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 no. I'm just keeping up with the
So
comments.
okay. So my thing is, if that's the case, do that mean you have to have unconditional love for yourself to even take the time to look at that shadow and look at what people are pointing out that they don't like about that thing, and then be able to accept it for what it is. Okay, I see what it is. I see how I need to adjust this thing, but this thing also taught me that I need to adjust it. So, do I not love it, or I have unconditional love to accept and address it?
Right. And I agree with Chrissy. I'm over here clapping on this one because I
Go
agree
ahead.
with this. The reason why she said no, because the love I have for myself is going to attract someone who doesn't treat me the way in the first place. And I agree with that.
Okay,
Yes.
Yes,
that makes sense. That
it
makes
does.
sense.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah.
The more you're caught up in the physical, the act, aka exceptional what love
Mhm.
is, you get lost in it. Love is a high vibrational emotion. Again, it's not, I agree with you, it's not physical.
I agree
Y'all are
100%.
on
Yeah,
fire in this chat.
exactly.
Yeah, this
Y'all,
chat is, I'm
Exactly.
trying to keep up. If you're being treated a certain way in a relationship, it's because you have not learned the lesson on
yes.
loving yourself. Let's go, Chris. Wait, let me hold on.
Okay, and that
I
was
got
just
I gotta
going in
get my
my head
I gotta
too.
get my sound
Yeah,
effects. Let me get my sound effects.
was
Hold on, Chrissy.
I'm telling you.
Yes, yes, D.
Yes,
That on
cause
that one, because Chrissy, you are so right on. When you learn to love
yes,
yourself, one, you won't accept certain things
that's
from the
what I was gonna
outside
say.
world. That, I mean,
Yeah,
that is so on point. And you do draw,
yes,
and you do like a draws like.
right, exactly. True,
So if
true.
y'all didn't see, Coach D said he married with. If you've seen earlier up in the chat, he said he married with expectation, and then Gary had asked something, and this is the response. Gary, you better ask my wife. I firmly set expectations when people get close to me. While dating or getting together, yes, but marrying, nah, I accept what I am getting. Mm, okay.
Mm. But my question then too is, when you meet that person, right? You said you put down the expectations or whatever. So
Acceptance. I think
then
you said
you married that person. So actually you already knew, you already seeing what you were getting. You already laid down your laws or whatever. So if that didn't go to your expectations, would you have married that person?
well, according, and I could be reading it wrong. He's saying that um, he's setting his expectations. So now I expect when I'm getting. He would have to break
Right,
that down. Yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's what the
yeah,
point
yeah,
I was
yeah. I
coming
got
to.
you.
Yes.
Love language now. Yes.
Yep. I wanted to say something about that, Chrissy. You are
Thank
so
you.
right on.
Thank you.
Because we
Thank
have so many different forms now
you.
of
Right.
love, different love language. Like we've put some, I think the thing that we've got away from is we put titles on everything. Like I think I'm sick of the titles. Like what
Right.
is it? Because
Mhm.
we've now turned
That was
everything
my whole
into a
point.
title.
Hmm.
Everything is now has to have a title, and we can't identify it until it's been named or it has a title to it. Well,
That
love,
was
like
my whole
King
point.
of Higher Self said, love is what it is. It's love.
Mhm.
And that was the whole point why I wanted to do unconditional love because I feel it's the words. Like love is love to me, and it is a high vibrational thing. But when I think people start putting on titles such as like unconditional love, that's making it
Mhm.
turn into something different to me. So that was one of the
Complicated.
main.
Mm.
Yes, hate is low vibrational emotion, yet I don't have to act on it. So again, there are things that are just energy and motion, aka emotions, not actions. Okay. Coach D said, "No, I forgot what we asked because it's a lot going on." I forgot, Coach D. My bad.
Mm,
Because you can make
mhm,
love whatever you want to be, aka love. Yes, love
Yep.
languages, absolutely. What expectations or purposes are met is becomes knowing to me. Let's see. Beginning to know her, I learned what I can accept. Okay, here he's answered. Okay, here we go, y'all.
mhm,
By getting to know her, I learned what I can accept. I wouldn't put any expectations on someone if they can't meet it or agree. Okay, okay,
okay.
okay. I
So is it
understand.
an
Okay,
expect?
true.
Is it an
But you
expectation or a boundary?
wouldn't.
I'm sorry, Sharon. Go ahead.
Mhm. I get exactly what he's saying, but I was getting ready to say, dang, I hate when I be forgetting. But I get exactly what he's saying. After knowing that person and seeing the expectations and maybe some things, this the way I put it. When I'm looking at a relationship and dealing with someone and I start really learning that person and who they are, I ask myself the things that and I'm hating to use dislike, but the things that trigger me or bother me about that person, is it something that I can live with? You see what I'm saying? Or is it something that I know I can't live with? And that's what makes me know and make the decision of, is this person is the person that I would want to live the rest of my life with.
Okay, Aladdin, have a good night. Absolutely. So I'm with Christy, and I was like me and Blended was saying, there's no such thing as unconditional love. I think it's the wording.
And I agree. It
Mhm.
is. It is. It
Mhm.
is the
It
wording
it it
because I can love somebody.
and compatibility.
Yes. Yeah, go ahead, Sharon. Go ahead, because you might take it away.
Oh, hold on, Kelly.
No, okay.
You see what he did to us? Look at that, Kelly.
Oh.
Oh, okay, with your stuffed sweet potatoes. Have a good evening, son.
Good evening, Aladdin.
After doing what? No.
But no, I can agree with that, because here's the thing again, we're talking about titles. We're really having a conversation
Right.
about titles. Love comes natural. And what is the natural thing that comes with love? All of us have love in us to some extent. You know what I mean? Depending on the situation or whatever is happening, you I think you love people, period. If we didn't have so many titles and things going on, we would be like, I just love that person. I don't think it takes away from the love just because you go through. And here's the thing, you really have to get to know a person too, to know if this is something, like Coach said, if this is something that you can
Right,
accept.
right.
Because I know I have grown to love people that I don't even know, just because through conversation I see how they care for themselves. I see, what they're interested in. I see how they're growing, and that could also make me fall in love without even having to do anything.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah. Um, I agree with what you guys are saying. Absolutely. What do you say? Facts. Can I tolerate you? That's my secret to getting along with people. Okay. I agree with that one. I totally can. I tolerate you. I'm maybe the man. I'm with
Come
you.
on, Coach D.
Yeah.
Light the chat on fire with that.
Okay. To me, expectations are like wants. Yes. You're basically saying, I want you to behave like this and I want you to do this. Yes. And back to what we say, we can always expect people to act the way we want them to react. Period. You know what
Exactly.
I'm
That's
saying?
as I always say. That's like taking that person's free will away from them. And we all were given free will. And we got to understand if, what we're seeing in them is not w- meeting up to what we desire and our expectations, then, we have to love them enough to give them free will to be them and know that they're not compatible for us. And, it must be somebody else.
And that's even in friendships. Like I was saying that earlier. Or that
Exactly.
like you're like I am very, very cautious now of the words friends because I used to, like I said, use that word so freely. And now doing these builds has helped me really decipher and really, really help me that there's associates and
Hmm.
companionship. But I've
Right.
experienced where people that I gave the title friends, they didn't allow me, like I was saying when I was talking to Kelly on that, they didn't allow me to express myself because they felt that it was being too, you're too bold and you're too, you aggressive. That's the word. You're aggressive when you talk.
Mhm.
So instead of talking to me in a way or saying, like I said, there was one in particular, and to this day, I'm grateful for her. She was like, yes, you are aggressive in your manner, but she was like, I understand why. And she broke down, like, because you have to
Mhm.
do all these other things. I've always had to be like in a boss mode with work, with
Mhm.
being a single mom, with
Mhm.
even in family, you know what I'm saying? So, but with her, the way she expressed it to me made me see, are you being aggressive? You know what I'm saying? So then it made me
Mhm.
to
Right.
look at it like, okay, I can talk in a different way. I can do it in a different tone
Mhm.
in this relationship. And that's where I felt like, people tend to um, be like, you do this, this, that. Are you giving me a solution? And how are you telling me that I'm doing things? Because
Mhm.
also, we have to learn that as parents, like, we have to learn how to communicate in a way that our children can understand and that it still shows love and being stern. You know what I'm saying? So,
So
Mhm.
so let me ask a question. Do you in my perspective, I think that love also is coupled with understanding.
Hmm. Yeah.
What do you feel about that? Because I think love is coupled with understanding. Because if someone can understand where you're coming from, they're more apt to treat you differently or be different with you if they understand the situation that you're going through.
True,
Well, I
So
think
I
that's
true, and
understand where you're coming from.
yeah, you can understand where they're coming from, but I also think that even if you're not in the situation, that you can, if you don't understand, there's a way that you could communicate to get the understanding, if that makes sense. Because I
wow,
Yes.
believe, I believe in
and what
communicating in love, with love, I should say, and that
and
helps you
what
to understand.
adding to what
Go ahead.
I'm sorry,
No,
adding
you.
to what both of you all saying, and I have to salute my sister Blended Healy for this because she used to always say to me, "Be compassionate to you with yourself," or something like that. Yeah, be compassionate with yourself, and that also came up in a reading today about showing compassion, even to people that are doing you wrong by understanding, and I'm gonna bring the scenario, uh the Bible verse, forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. And so showing compassion is, understanding that we might not know exactly what caused them to treat. It could be something that they're dealing with within them that might cause them to treat us in a wrong way, or take advantage or whatever. So and learning that everybody don't think like you, feel like you, or whatever, and sometimes, it's what people have experienced in life, the environment, and all that. So I would say compassion will also be connected to the love and understanding.
Hmm. I agree with that. Let's see. Coach D said expectations, in my opinion, is used in the wrong context. At times being similar to words like wants and desires, but it's not the same. The word belief separates them. Interesting. So I'm very,
Mm-hmm.
I try to be very cognitive of the words that I use because of that. And
Mm-hmm.
like I said, that's what really brought up this a series of the ships of unconditional love, because I was like, people just it's a word used to describe like the deepest love, and I do agree because Linda even said that at the beginning. When you have that with your child, when you first see your child, man, you have to experience it to even know. Those that are have children, and then I said it's even worse if
Mm-hmm.
you have grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
Once your grandchildren get involved, it's even worse.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different. You like, oh
Mm-hmm.
man, it's that energy. Like they said, it's that energy, that feeling. Like, oh, so I understand why that form of parents so love could be considered what they say
Mm-hmm.
unconditional love. Gary said he had a question.
Unconditional. Mhm.
A question that should be asked: do you want love or do you need love? Yes. Okay.
Mm. Mm.
You made me think of a song, Gary. You made me think of a song.
How about if
Okay.
your answer? How about if your answer is I want it and I need it?
I want both, Gary. She said. She said both,
Oh,
Gary. Want and need.
oh God.
She said she want both. I mean, okay. So if I need it, if I want it, I'm gonna get it. So I'm trying to think. Do you want love?
I
Does
say need it. And
need
the only
love?
reason why I say need is because we had this discussion too.
Hmm.
When we look at the background of serial killers, right? What's
Hmm.
the number one thing that they're deficient in when it comes to their lifestyle.
The love of their parents.
Exactly.
Love.
So I would say that love is
Mm-hmm.
needed. It's just in the way
Mm-hmm.
that people perceive love. That's where we kind of get messed up in this.
Yeah.
We have too many think pieces on what love should look like, what love should be. And if you come from a place of hurt, or you from a place where you are deficient in, are you really tuned into what love is? Because I think
Mm.
everyone needs love. Love is the
Right.
key to helping someone evolve. Things evolve when love is involved. We actually
And
evolve when love's there.
mhm. I'm just brought you reminded of KRS did a song about knowing the difference between your wants and needs. And when you want something, that don't mean that you really have to have it. It's just something you desire. But when you need something, it's something you really have to have.
And the one thing that I wanted to say, just to your point, Gary, like what happens when you have a child that they don't know how to ask for love, but it should be just given freely, and they don't get it in that context. Because I
Hmm.
think that sometimes we
Mhm.
talk from a context of us being grown, when some of us have grown up in
Hmm.
environments where they did not receive love. So how they identify with love may
Hmm.
not be how we're talking about it. Somebody's love meter could be off just due to the fact that one, they call love getting yelled at. So they only feel that
Hmm.
they're loved if someone's yelling at them, or if someone's putting their hands on them, or
Hmm.
if you're neglecting some parts, or say for instance you're in a household that they don't communicate in. You now take on these attributes and you bring them into your adult self, and now you're living out how you love through your adult life. But what happens when you have those younger people that don't know how to express, I need love? How do you now give love freely to those that don't know how to go for it or ask for it?
Mm. Good point, Kelly. Good. I like that. I like that.
Hmm.
Coach says
Yeah.
expecting is having the belief someone will not well or not knowing it will happen, but you not worrying if not. This I say I don't put it on people who are not capable of it. Man,
Yes, Coach D. Yes,
Mm.
yes.
I had to learn that. I had to really
Mhm.
learn that if you are incapable, see all these songs because I'm a song person, and it's because the song called "Uncapable of Loving Me," but you cannot expect someone to love you a certain type of way if they never been shown that. Going to Kelly's point,
Mm,
you
mm,
weren't shown the proper love or how to love somebody. Like people never have experience with true love, as we don't even have to say romantically, even as a friendship. Some people
mhm,
don't even know what a true friend is. So when they have a true friend,
mhm,
and like if I'm saying that I'm a friend and I'm your friend and I'm doing things for you and you're not familiar with that, because that's
Mm-hmm.
not how you, the people that were saying that your friends did treated you totally different than what I'm treating you. So
Mm-hmm.
you're on
mhm,
guard, like, no, that's not, you're doing something different. So it's unfamiliar. So it's weird to them. You know what I'm saying? So it makes them feel some type of way. And then I'm expecting them to receive it the way I'm giving it to them, but I can't because they never had it before.
mhm,
I
Mm-hmm.
can't accept them to
mhm,
have it if they never
mhm,
had it. They don't even know what that is.
Yep. Yep. To Coach D's point, D, he
mhm,
said you only know what you're aware of.
Exactly.
So
mhm,
man, this is what's up. I'm gonna take a page out of Maya Angelou's
mhm,
book too, though. When people show you who they are,
mhm,
believe them,
mhm,
because a person could show you
mhm. That's
that
a
they don't
lesson I
love.
had to
And
learn.
that's one of the questions that I ask when in this dating world too. Is I'll ask a person, "Do you love yourself?" And most people's
Hmm.
response to that is, "Yes, I do." But then you look at their life and you're like, "Okay, well." what do you do
Mhm.
to show your, how do you express that love? And then the most common answer usually comes out, well, I love myself because I wake up every day and I take a shower. It's so basic of the
Mhm.
answer that you get. It's
Mhm.
not even those, speaking to how you would love yourself. What do you show affection to yourself? Do you study? Do you have
Mhm.
goals? I mean, there's so much with coming with loving yourself. But where I'm coming at is
Mhm.
where you said that if you're not aware, so I believe if you show me who you are and I don't see that love, I can't expect for you to either receive my love in a certain way, and I can't expect you to show it because you're showing me exactly who you are when you show up. So there should never be a point where I get in a relationship where my love is challenged or my love is evolved into something different, because if I believe you, we're not even going to come together in that way. We won't make it past that point to even get to a point to where love is involved.
Absolutely, Coach D. And I want hit me up on Instagram because I want to actually set up an interview with you too. Not over here, but at the network. So he wants us to come build with him. He has revamped some things, and I love it over there too. I be in the clouds lately, but
Mhm.
hit me up, Coach D, on Instagram because I want to set up that interview with you as well. This has been a wonderful, wonderful build. We hitting the 2 hour mark.
Yes, yes. I sure wish my sister could have been on here because that's what we was on the phone mostly all day talking about this type of stuff. And but she's a early she go to bed early, so I that's why I didn't try
Oh,
to get her
okay.
on here because I know she was there.
Yeah,
So,
because we do this
mhm,
every Tuesday at the Love Palace. We have a pre-record,
mhm.
but you know what, Sharon, we can do a build with her on the
But I will share
pre-record,
the links with her. Yeah, that's
and
what
we
I
could
was
do a
thinking to
pre.
share the
We could
links
do
with her, and I
yeah,
told.
we could do a pre-record build with her because we want guests on the panel as well with the pre-record, and then we come do the Q&A. So if she wants to build it on a pre-record, we can
Okay.
definitely do that, and because we're doing that, and
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah,
yeah, so that way she'll still be
that sounds
part of it.
great.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So definitely we could do that.
Right. Yeah.
Anybody that wants on
Mm-hmm.
this
Mm-hmm.
series, this shift, we asking for special guests. We're gonna talk about all the different ships. And like I said, Blended has given me this, and I'm so grateful. I see that it absolutely fits at the Love
Mm-hmm.
House. It absolutely fits over here. So
Yes,
shout out to
definitely.
her again.
Definitely.
Yeah, I enjoyed this
I'm trying
deal.
to tell you.
I enjoyed it so much. You guys go ahead and say your closing remarks. Go ahead.
I will say thank you for coming
Um,
and building with us. I mean, this is always a pleasure to be with you ladies and talk about love. And I unconditionally love each and every one of you, because it takes a team, it takes
mhm,
a village. If you're loving on someone, you should see the growth come from it, and what we're doing is growing. So I can say wholeheartedly that I unconditionally
mhm,
love what we do over here, because it's for the growth and the empowerment of all people. It's not just individualized, even though what we're talking you do have to work on individually. But if you're looking for growth, you can do that
mhm,
when you have a group of people that allow you to be yourself. So thank you for taking the time out to come and be with us, to build with us. Y'all really tore it up in the chat. And for that, I'm forever grateful, because I'm able to look at things from a different perspective just from the people in the chat. So thank you for coming and being here with us.
mhm.
Go ahead,
I'm
Sharon.
just thinking, wow, it's just so much going through my mind right now. But I definitely want to say this, when you were saying how Blended actually really passed this on to you. And it just made me think about her. She gives a lot of herself. She really do. What she does is really genuinely from her heart and her soul, because she really don't have to get on there. I mean, she can keep it all to herself, but
Mm-hmm.
her passion and love is for to help other people. Yeah. So and that took me to that is almost like an unconditional love because sometimes expressing and us getting up on these panels and we're making ourselves vulnerable as well, but we have to even we're being open and vulnerable, but the unconditional love in it is, well, if I got to be open and vulnerable to help someone else, I'm willing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That was beautiful.
Yes,
That
Sharon.
was beautiful, Sharon.
Mm, mm,
That
mm,
was, ooh, that touched
mm,
me. That was beautiful. Coach D, we do. It's actually a series. It's the
mm,
ship
mm,
series. We're actually on episode 11 today. So it's been going on for a while. We were doing the build over at Blended and then doing the Q&A over here, but now it's all at the Love Palace. And like Sharon said, Blended has blessed me with it, and we're running with it. And she told me at the beginning that it was for me, so I want everybody to be aware. She always said that it was for me,
mhm,
and I knew that, and it was just getting me back into the YouTube because she was like, "This is a Love Palace thing," which we'll have other topics as well. But yes, it's
mhm,
already in a couple of we're gonna break up all the ships. There's so many ships. We have a fleet of them. A fleet of them.
mhm.
Yeah, so
Yes.
definitely it is. I appreciate. Oh, anything else? Go ahead, Sharon.
No, pretty much, that's what I'm wanted to express in the topic. Yes.
Okay. So once again, thank you guys for coming to.
And thank y'all for. I'm
Go ahead.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
And I wanted to thank y'all for having me on the panel and thank the Almighty for the sisterhood that we all have
Because
collaborated with
we
each
do
other
have
with.
a
So
wonderful
yeah.
sisterhood on this
Mm,
app and off this app. That's
mm,
Mm-hmm.
it is.
mm,
We
yeah,
talk off this
yeah,
app, y'all, and we have good conversations and laughing and all
yes,
that. So yes.
mm,
Um,
mm.
So thanks for everybody that hit the platform. Thank you for blending. I know she came up here because she was like, I ain't about to leave. I said, Kelly's coming. So y'all, Kelly was doing
Mhm,
her motherly duties. And the pre-record was cracking too, man. I appreciate y'all. Y'all was in there deep too. I appreciate every one of y'all. Sadi for always hitting the panel and giving her kind words. Hopefully we can
mm,
get some men. Thank you for Aladdin, Coach D, Gary. We finally did your subject, Gary. All the men that
mm, mm,
participated in
mm,
the chat. The true daughter of darkness. Thank you for your wisdom and knowledge as well. You had some very, very good, valid points. Everybody that just came through
mm,
and showed the Love Palace some love. Because at the Love Palace, we tap into the mind, the body, and most importantly, the heart. I appreciate you guys so
mm,
much. And we look forward to look out for some more content. Check out some of the shorts that I'm doing. Go over there and check out the network and also
mm,
check out Blended Healing. She got it going on every day,
mm,
9:30 in the
mm.
morning Eastern Standard.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure she'll have another one at 7 p.m. She doesn't do it on Tuesday because I know she's showing us love. Check her out because that's really how I got it going on with her. Like, if you want
Mhm,
Coach DB live, I noticed he's been coming live a little bit earlier. He used to be the late night, but y'all
mhm.
check him out as well. I like how he's doing things over there. Okay,
Yeah, definitely.
sure you check
She
out.
bring up some very strong points.
Yeah, sub up to E Nicole, of course. Everybody that came in the chat that has a channel, y'all make
Mhm.
sure to subscribe because you know I'm all about the
Mhm,
networking as well. So I'm gonna close it out, like I say, what Miss Renee would always say. If ain't nobody else love y'all, we love y'all up here on the panel. And in my words, go tell somebody that you love them today. And those that you don't care too much for and even might get on your nerves, go ahead and tell them that you love them as well, because they need to hear that. And so let me see what I'm gonna take us out with,
mhm,
y'all. I think I'm gonna take us out with Goddesses by Aladdin and Greed. As soon as I find it. Make sure y'all check out that new track by Aladdin called Rebound, and Dangerous got some music out too. They putting a lot of good music out there. Not mainstream, but you know, it's music for us. Where is my okay? Where's my Goddesses?
Mm-hmm.
Back here trying to find it. Got it. Okay, here we go, y'all. Peace out. Peace and love to everyone.
Yeah. Greedy. We will have nothing without our mama. Nothing. Yeah. Our goddesses, where would we be without our goddesses, How would man think without our goddesses? We would have nothing without our mama. Shout out to the auntie, sister, wifey, daughter. Yeah, we need our goddesses, How would we be without our goddesses, How would men think without our goddesses? We would have nothing without our mama. Shout out to the auntie, sister, wifey, daughter.
I think of your ways, your love never cease to amaze. Your sweetness is praised. It's where I find some peace these days. Beaching with babes, red grapes, peaches and shades, a leaf with some haze, that good wine, kiwi and lime. She be my kind and style, my everything here and now. That smile is something to see, you comforting me. It ain't another place that I would comfortably be. You're like a freedom. I gave you my truths and you received them. The reasons that I've changed be easing me through these pains. Explains how I'm nothing without you. Something about you, I gotta get out here and be great for you. Plan to cop a crib with some land by the lake for you. A break for you. Open my eyes. You gave me hope and ways to cope when I feel like I'm losing it. You hold me and say no. Your love's dope and I need you. Be piercing my heart like a needle. Wanna hug and squeeze you.
Our goddesses, where would we be without our goddesses, How would man think without our goddesses? We would have nothing without our mama. Shout out to the auntie, sister, wifey, daughter. Yeah, we need our goddesses, How would we be without our goddesses, How would men think without our goddesses? We would have nothing without our mama. Shout out to the auntie, sister, wifey, daughters. Yeah. Goddesses, my goddesses, paradise she hypnotized me with her seductive lids. You magnetic and fire shit. I don't know what my problem is. Although I can't get a grip, I still never let her slip. Your touch can create peace in my soul. Inspiration from my examination of your creation has me achieving my goals. You my motivation to finding how to heal my soul. Keep it real when it's real. She taught me how to heal. She taught me how to feel. She taught me how to deal with the emotions that a man may feel. And for the home cooked meals, infinite gratitude, mama. Thanks for being there through all of my drama. Speaking of drama, y'all can be crazy, but that ain't stopping the option of you being my lady. Besides, between your thighs is that juicy passions that can seduce my savages. Calling me, gotta have it. Her loving is how I function, no discussion. Our goddesses, where would we be without our goddesses, How would man think without our goddesses? We would have nothing without our mama. Shout out to the auntie, sister, wifey, daughter. Yeah, we need our goddesses, How would we be without our goddesses, How would men think without our goddesses? We would have nothing without our mama. Shout out to the auntie, sister, wifey, daughters. Yeah.